Today we'll be checking back in with the Shiba Inu coin. We'll be performing some technical analysis and making some predictions on where we can expect to see SHIB go in the near future. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another crypto video. We are once again taking a look at SHIB. We're going to see if our predictions from last week came into fruition or if they did not, using technical analysis. But before we get into that, guys, please remember to leave a thumbs up if you do enjoy today's video. And of course, if you want to subscribe and turn on bell notifications, we cover much more crypto, stocks, investing and wealth management content. I'd also love to hear your thoughts on SHIB and the direction you think it's going down in the comments section below. But without any further ado, let's jump into the computer and start today's analysis. Welcome back into the SHIB chart, guys. If you're looking to buy SHIB or want some free Bitcoin, there are a couple of links in the description of today's video. But let's take a look at the chart. And the last time we took a look at SHIB, we were on this little uptrend right about here, and we peaked effectively at about 789. But unfortunately, a little channel that we had in place, which was what we were predicting could be a short-term uptrend, it unfortunately failed within the next few days and we moved downwards once again. But our whole theory was we were going back to test our key points. And where was that key point? Well, one of them was right here at 890. That was a very, very important point for us. I'll chuck that one back in there. And as you can see today and yesterday, we tested that point twice. We knew we were moving upwards in that sort of a direction and we were going for that key top point there. Now, I'll just put in as well our area of support once again at roughly 645 or maybe just a bit higher, 647. And as you can see, we're still clearly within that sort of trading channel at this point in time. But the best thing we can see about this is the fact that we didn't break down through this trend and then touch, that line. We've managed to gain momentum since that point and start moving back upwards again. And it's great to see that we just didn't have a single test and start dropping back. We had another test of it today and we're currently hovering at about 841. We did hit and crack that 900 mark, got to about 906, and then that's when we started to, come back down over the past few days. Now, depending on what happens today, we could see two sort of scenarios play out. Firstly, the main scenario I can see happening is what looks like a cup and handle. So basically a cup and handle looks a bit like this. We'll move in that sort of direction. That's the cup, and we'll have a handle, and then we will, consolidate in this range, and then we'll break out. That is scenario number one. That's probably ideal scenario. Scenario number two, we've, tested this point, and now we're going to come back down to hit once again this key point of support, or even potentially this little point that we've had formed here at probably roughly about 690. So that is on the cards as well for us. But overall, we are looking not too shabby and a lot of momentum has obviously come back in. And you can see today is the first red day. Well, the day's not over, but the first red day in about a week, which is fantastic. We haven't had a streak of green days like this for quite some time, as you can see zooming out. In fact, the last time we had a streak like this was probably back here in June. So overall pretty good, showing a clear shift in momentum towards a positive angle. Now, yes, whilst we have had a red day so far, you can see the volume is relatively low. So we're not seeing big dumps after this key point of resistance was hit. So that means that people are holding strong, investors are holding strong, and hoping that they do see a breakout over this point. Now, whilst yes, I did have this cup and handle scenario in place, that is probably the most likely outcome, I think there could be an even more bullish scenario, and that is what we're going to do is follow this little trend line that has been, I suppose, formed right here. as you can see, started moving. We've got a few touch points across this, and it's going to get a bit tighter in here and break out even quicker. That is obviously the third scenario and the most bullish scenario. We're going to need to see a lot of buying though come in, and a lot of, I suppose, positivities around the crypto space over the past week. So overall, not looking too bad. You can see the positivity really started here, and it's when Bitcoin started to have a bit of an increase over the weekend. As a result, many other coins start to follow it once again. But we got to break this key point and have a few solid trading days above it before we start seeing, you know, those new levels, those new highs, back all the way above 1,000, 1,050 sort of mark. That's really the target. So let me just chuck that in place here. I'll grab this point of resistance, probably move up. I'd say, yeah, let's crack 950 first, and then the next spot we want to be going for is cracking that elusive 1,000 mark, and that's purely based upon what is, I suppose, a psychological number. People who are investing and trading look for those psychological numbers. So we'll be moving hopefully in that sort of direction. I doubt it will be that sharp. I'm expecting to see something maybe like this occur, moving upwards in, I suppose, a bit more of a staircase style pattern. But let's bring in a few more indicators now in order to get a better picture of what's going on. Of course, I want to bring in our moving averages to kick it off with. So I'll start with our 20-day, which I will make blue for us. Then I'll bring in secondly our 50-day. I'm just changing the colors so it follows typically the format that I use. And finally, let's bring in that long-term 200-day moving average if it is available on this chart. You can see it isn't, so we don't really need to worry about that one. Get rid of it. Let's look at the 20 and the 50-day moving averages. As you can see, we have just had what is known as a golden cross occur, and this is something we mentioned in the last video. This is showing that our short-term trend is shifting positively. We're seeing the short-term 20-day moving average cross above our 50-day moving average. So just for perspective, that cross occurred at roughly 745. And now we're currently sitting at a 20-day moving average of 755 and a 50-day moving average of 744. Overall, very, very good. And we're going to see this 20-day moving average come up and act as support. I think really that 50-day moving average as well will act as a key point of horizontal support for us moving forward. So I'll just chuck in another line there. You can see that's basically where we're sitting from, I suppose, a trading point of view. So overall, looking very, very good. It's pretty exciting for the coin, given that I suppose we've had these big dips previously. It's starting to recover and so show basically signs of potentially a breakout occurring. Now, if I then bring in another indicator, and what one will that be? The MACD. This should show us a shift in momentum as well. And yes, as you can see, we had that period of red, and then we saw another cross and a big positive shift in momentum as we're coming up this sort of a way. The 12-day EMA crossing above the 26-day EMA, so looking really, really good from that perspective. If we can, you know, get up to these sort of levels and maintain it, we will see a breakout. There's plenty of room for us to move from that perspective. Just need to keep the positive buying momentum up, and we will see these levels of resistance, which have proved a big pain to get through, be broken. And they'll be broken very, very quickly because FOMO will start to kick in for the traders on SHIB. Now let's bring in as well, of course, our RSI. And I expect what we'll see is it's relatively relaxed still. You can see, yes, we had a bit of a peak, but we've come back down to an RSI of 62.28. So yes, we're on the higher end of the band, but we haven't gotten into that overbought area yet. And you can see, due to obviously the momentum, we've gone basically all the way from an RSI of 46.62 up to a peak of 63.3 to now where we rest at 62. So overall, not looking too shabby. It's cooling off a bit. That's why I think that handle pattern is going to occur. Let it cool off again for a day or two before we then see a breakout occur on the chart. Overall, even if we do move into that overbought space, as you've seen with many other coins on this channel, they can exist in this area for weeks or even a month or more. So overall, not too shabby, and we're looking like, I suppose, a bit of positivity is coming to the crypto space, as I mentioned. So from that perspective, I really do think my price target for today will be cracking this point at 890 and then targeting this point at 950. That's where we want to go. Ultimate goal, obviously 1000. Will we achieve it in the next few days? Well, you know, we have big jumps like this occur on this coin, so it is quite feasible. If you had a jump of that size over here, we would actually exceed 1000 points. So it is possible. We've had another one there, as you can see, but we just need to see that positive momentum start coming in. Obviously the MACD's crossed, we've had a golden cross here on the chart, so overall looking very, very positive. I'd love to know your thoughts on today's SHIB analysis down in the comments section below. Do you think we can beat those key points of resistance and move towards that 1000 mark, or do you think we are in for, I suppose, a bit more of a lull and a pullback before we potentially see those numbers? Let me know down in the comments section. And of course, if you did enjoy today's video, remember to hit that like button, and if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. We cover crypto, stocks, investing and wealth management. But I'm going to leave it there for the day, guys. Hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.